Hello everyone, and welcome to an opening video on the Urusov Gambit. This is a super trappy and aggressive opening while also being backed by the engine. Let's get into it. So the Urusov Gambit first comes after we play e4 and black plays pawn to e5. We will play bishop to c4, and after they play knight to f6, the gambit comes after we play pawn to d4. Black really only has two moves in this position. The first one is to take the e-pawn, and the second is to take the d-pawn. They can't really defend with something like knight to c6, because then we would just push our d-pawn all the way up, and after knight hops to the side, then we just back up to d3, and we're already much better. First, I'm going to look at the super trappy line, and I can guarantee you if they play this, you will win something above 80% of your games. If they play knight takes on e4, then we'll first of all take their e-pawn, and to put it lightly here, black's first most common move in this position is a trap. Black's second most common move in this position is also trap, and black's fourth most common move also falls into a trap. This is just an absolute landmine of traps. So their most common move here is bishop to c5, targeting our f2 square with their knight and their bishop. But now we immediately win with bishop takes on f7. They really have nothing better to do than take back their king, and now just queen to d5, picking up their knight by a fork. So they have to move their king, now just take their knight, and now we're already much better because material's even, but they have this extremely awkward king that they cannot castle. Their second most popular move here is pawn to d5. If they play this, then we will take it with our bishop, attacking their knight, and at this point their most popular move here, knight to c5, immediately loses due to the really nice move, bishop takes on f7. They cannot take it because then they would lose their queen. And so instead they'll move up to e7, but now we just simply play bishop to g5, skewering them, and they are completely lost here with crisscross applesauce. And their fourth most popular move here that is also a trap is knight takes on f2. Now we don't actually want to take this, since if we do, then they will play queen to h4 check, and simply pick up our bishop, at which point they will be much better. So instead of that, we're going to play queen to f3, threatening mate, and also preparing to take this knight with our queen. So after they stop it with queen to e7, we will simply take their knight, they take our pawn, and we block with knight to e2. And now we're up in material, we're up on development, and we're simply much better here. So their most popular move here that doesn't immediately lose is knight to c5, preparing to go to e6 and simply block out our bishop. If they do this, then we will play bishop to e3, attacking their knight, and after they move it, we play knight to f3. And we are much better here because we have two extra pieces developed, and they have really nothing except this sad little knight with no friends. So that is all you need to know for that knight takes on e4 line. The much better move for them to play, though, is pawn takes on d4, at which point we do not want to take it back for a queen, because if we do this, then after they play knight c6, we have to back up to e3, and now we've kind of let them get their footing in and get nice and safe, and we don't want to let this. We want to keep the pressure on them. So instead we play the move knight to f3. They still cannot really take our pawns, since if they do, then now we will take on d4 with the tempo on their knight, and after they back up, we will develop to c3 with our knight, and we simply have just way too much development. We're about to castle, get our rooks on the open files, move our bishop out. This is just a fantastic position for us. The much better moves for them is to protect this d-pawn with either knight to c6 or bishop to c5. I'll start with bishop to c5. If they play this, then we will castle, and there's a lot of moves that they can play here. However, the most common one for them is to simply castle as well. We will play e5, attacking their knight, and they will play d5, counterattacking our bishop. We will back up to b3, and after they hop into e4, we will play pawn to c3. Big trade happens on this square, and this is simply an even position. The other move for them, knight to c6. If they play this, then we will also castle, and after they take on e4, we will play rook to e1, pinning their knight to their king. They will play pawn to d5, protecting it, and now we have a nice little move here. We will sacrifice our bishop on d5, because after they take back, we have a really nice move, knight to c3. This move attacks their queen and attacks their knight. They cannot take it, because then we would simply take their queen, and they cannot take their knight because it is still pinned. So they will move their queen to a5, at which point we will take their knight with our knight, and after they block it with bishop to e6, we will play knight to g5, attacking their bishop with our knight and our rook. They will triple castle, Simply we take their bishop and we win back the pawn that we sacrificed earlier, and this is simply an even position. So that is all you need to know to play this opening. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I will see you next time.